We should be back. I apologize for that. I don't know what happened, but hold on. I'm gonna make sure the audio is all good. Why is it acting slow? Okay, now we're good. So I think we left off on like the AFC East. So there you go. AFC West, Diablos are ahead of everybody by a game. NFC North, the Lions are back at first place with them winning and us losing. The Falcons are pretty close to clinching the NFC South. They're 3 ahead of the Bucs. Washington lost, everybody else won, but Washington is still in first place of the East by a game, and the NFC West is very close. The Seahawks and Rams both lost this week, so nobody makes up any ground. All right, so we're going to be simcasting the Tigers and the Wizards. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, wait, no. That's the game we're watching. I'm stupid. I think I said we're simcasting it earlier, but we're watching it, which is good because it's going to be a fun game. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2.
It's 2.
2. That is the Tigers. I'm going to get my other controller set up so we can have both teams get to pick their jerseys. All right, now we're good. So, do the Wizards, do you want to wear your white jerseys or your purple jerseys? The Tigers will stick with the oranges because those are cool. Tigers you need both of these teams to lose pretty much equally. Because the Jags are at 7-6, both of these teams are at 8-5, a game ahead of you guys. So I feel like if you're the Jaguars, you should just be rooting for a nuke to drop into the stadium and eliminate both of these teams. So that way, it's only between the Jags and the Bison. A tie, I guess, kind of works. Both teams get to be sad. So that's a win for you guys. Yeah, I would root for a tie. All right, there we go. Now we're good. The Jags have been losing every game since losing to the Ravens. Will the same happen with the Wizards? Imagine that. It's like the Raven curse. Oh boy, the Ravens play Cleveland this week. The Ravens play Cleveland twice today, weeks 15 and 17, the ultimate tank bowl that somehow almost won the poll. Because memes and all that. So the Wizards are going to start on offense. We're going to get our first look at Patrick Mahomes and the fellas. The Wizards beat the Tigers in Orlando earlier in the season in overtime. So if the Wizards win this game, not only are they a game ahead of the Tigers, but they also had the head-to-head tiebreaker. If the Tigers win, they'll be a game ahead of the Wizards. But tiebreaker head-to-head will be even. So I guess they would move to the next tiebreaker, which I'm not entirely sure who would take control of that. So long story short, both of these teams need to win. Can we, like, win and have other teams lose and then go to the playoffs? I mean, I think you guys are still mathematically alive, but the chances are still really slim. What would you do if McSorley wins a Super Bowl for you? I would live stream me listening to a 10-hour loop of the Trace McSorley song. If they win a Super Bowl with McSorley this year. It has to be this year. Think if you win out, you make it. I mean, I wouldn't say that's overly likely. But you'd be 9-8. Probably not enough of a division, but in the AFC East, it's possible. Especially if you win Week 17. And then, I think realistically, you've got to hope for that 6th or 7th seed, which is possible, but again, not likely. What is it, Justin Fields, anyway? I don't know. That's a good question. I was kind of confused by your decision to bench Fields for McSorley, unless it's in order to tank for Dan, which in that case, then it makes sense. But I guess after that first game, I'm not as confused. But if a reason for benching Fields was to tank for Dan, then in that case, I get it. Because Dan is the man. To round it out, maybe the Dolphins again. Do you guys play the Dolphins again? Because if that's the case, then a win there would be pretty big. 3rd and 6, they barely get it. That Tigers fan with the sign, put me in, I can throw. I mean, that'd be funnier if they had a sucky quarterback, but they have Tom Brady, who cheats. So, I guess it's kind of the same thing. Can't even blame the decision. I don't think the decision to trade for Russ was bad. Like, I think the trade for you guys was fine. The idea of it was fine, but it just hasn't worked out. I don't think the move was bad, and I think it could be salvaged next year. It's just that, well, your team hasn't played well. That's pretty much it. I don't think it was a bad move. It's like Hector saying he can win a game for the Tigers. Tom Brady's lost 5 games this year for the Tigers. Hector's only lost 1 game for the Tigers in his career. Okay, guys? Let's calm down. Team has the talent to be better than 5-8. I mean, do they? You guys have a really good young nucleus, but I don't know if I would say you have one of the better rosters in the league. So, I wouldn't say it's that big of a surprise that you guys only have 5 wins. If you guys have 5 wins in 2 years from now at this stage in the year, then yeah, something's gone wrong. But I feel like it's natural to not be all that great because you guys are still kind of in rebuild mode. Because most of the young talent's just progressing. The only subtraction from last year's defense was Okudah, but Hooker and McKinley are better. Well, apparently Okudah's just that good, even though he got torched in watch games last year, which I don't get that at all. But Madden is just weird. Okudah must have been the glow. I guess so. Wizards are moving it nicely. They're getting close. Who are the Cardinals playing Week 15? I don't know. I guess we'll have to pay attention to the bottom. Mahomes is 8 of 8. He hasn't really thrown it deep, but he's 8 of 8. As an Okudah stan, I can say Okudah was the person keeping us from a good defense to a piss-poor one. Okudah was really the only player on that defense last year who wasn't all that good, which is weird. That he's the only thing that left. As the Wizards do get the touchdown, I think that's probably Jaden Jackson. So the Wizards get the ball first. They had the ball for nearly the entire quarter. That was a 7-minute drive. Good Lord. The Tigers have not even touched the ball yet. 15 plays, 80 yards, 7 minutes. That's honestly impressive. AFC North, I would just say every division is weird at this point. With how last week went. So now we get to see the Chicago Tigers led by Grandpa himself, Tom Brady, who has been pretty good. I wouldn't say he's been, like, really good, but he's been pretty good. He's been good enough. That's a quick start. Pass for 40 to 44. A gain of 30 for Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams has a history of being pretty darn good in watch games. Added on with Mecole Hardman and Kayshon Boutte and Christian McCaffrey. Speaking of McCaffrey, on the very next play, he gets 26 more. So the Wizards methodically drove down the field, 15 plays, 7 minutes, and now the Tigers within 2 plays have it at the 29. Last time I asked you this question was in Week 5. Let's see if your predictions change. Who do you think will win OFL Bowl 17? All right, now that we know more about these teams, I feel like I can give a better prediction that'll still be wrong. So last time I said it was the Vikings, even when we were playing horribly. I predicted that we would figure it out, and we have. But I think there are teams in a better spot than us to make some noise here in the playoffs. So I'm going to say in the AFC, the Shamrocks are red hot, and they made the OFL Bowl last year. They know how to win and watch games. I could see them kind of being a sleeper under the radar team and doing it again. As for the NFC, Atlanta is the best team in the conference. I'm going to go bold. I don't think we've seen this team and watched yet this year. I'm going to say Washington. I know it would be very Apple-esque to choke it, but Madden has loved Apple in the past, so I think there's a world where that happens. Got to go to baseball. See you, Octi. Hope the Jets and Niners lose. Thanks for coming in, Nickinator. Can I make some noise if I get into it? You have to realize there's like a 1% chance of that happening in the first place, though. If you get in, then anything can happen. But I feel like at this point in the season, it's kind of too little too late. Even if you win out, it's extremely unlikely. You can't win the division because I think Dublin already has 9 wins at this point. So you got to hope for a wild card, which even if you win out, you would still be 8-9. So I think it's mathematically possible, but it's super, super slim. Ravens beat London in OFL Bowl 17. Imagine. Your odds make my odds look good. Exactly. And the Beats don't have much better odds. So the Tigers did add the field goal there to start the second quarter. We have an early flag on the kick return. It's Josh Ross. Odds of Cardinals winning it. So you guys are pretty much right on the fringe of making the playoffs. I would say your odds of making the postseason are what? 30%? I wouldn't say they're high, but they're possible. From there, still pretty slim. So I would say certainly higher than the Beats and the Ravens. But put it this way. I think the Cardinals have the same chance of winning the OFL Bowl that the Ravens do of making the playoffs. So, in other words, very, very slim. But possible. If I were to bet on one of those things happening, I think it's a little bit more likely the Cardinals, because they have the better chance of making the playoffs, and then in the playoffs anything can happen. Still very unlikely, though. 2nd and 4. Mahomes is incomplete. There's a flag. I don't think that you can call that a pass interference. I disagree with that. I don't think that should have been a flag. Oh, it's on DeMarcus Robinson. Okay, never mind. I thought they were calling it on the defense. So they called an illegal touching. I didn't really see what he did, but okay. Sacked by Deron Payne, so the Wizards are going to have to punt it. So the Tigers are going to get it back. Their offense on their first drive, they have the ball for a whole 2 minutes. McSorley is the answer. Eddie, we're probably going to get killed this week. Who do you guys play? Oh, you play Cleveland. You're not going to get killed by Cleveland. Those guys are horrible. That game's going to be like 50-40 with how those two defenses work. Trace McSorley's going to have a field day, and on the other side, Russell Wilson will too. Watch that game end up being like 10-7. That'd be hilarious. The two worst defenses, like literally ever, practically. And it'd be 10-7. With how this stream has gone so far, that game's going to be 10-7. Anything can happen. Yeah, but some things are very unlikely. Possible. Pretty sure we have a worse. I mean, you have the worst record in the league right now. I would still say the Browns are better than London and Toronto and some of those teams down there just based off of pure talent. But Cleveland does have the worst record. But if we were to watch a game between Cleveland and Toronto, I would pick Cleveland to win. I think they're a better team. They just have not been able to win games. Predicting your team to lose this week, eliminating the odds of a playoff berth, then we win out, go 8-9, miss the playoffs, get the worst possible pick. Don't you guys have multiple first-round picks anyway? So, I mean, it's not even the end of the world. Pick 10 and pick 15 isn't that much of a difference. Ravens beat the Browns 10,547 to 10,546. I could see that with how those defenses are. You did allow 20 points on a really good Wizards offense. That is true. The Ravens are at least coming around. Third and 7. First down for the Tigers. It is, I think, again, Jamison Williams. McSorley is in the MVP conversation if he puts up over 1,000. 1,000 points? In that case, just give him the award. I don't care if he doesn't win another game. Second and 10 again, throws it away. All going to be late except your own. Well, even so, I don't think there's like some drastic difference between the 10th pick and the 15th pick. Especially if you scout well. Third and 10, McCaffrey gets 5, so they're going to have to kick it up a field goal. When these two teams played against each other earlier in the season, the first half was very low scoring. My issue is my team does not have a consistent offense or defense. You have good stretches and bad stretches. I feel like that's how a lot of teams in the league work, and I don't know why, but I feel like everybody's inconsistent. See, I kind of want a top pick, but McSorley. I mean, you guys will still probably pick in the top 5 unless you just completely win out. Like 6 and 11 probably gets you either a top 5 pick or really close. And that would imply you guys win 2 more games the rest of the year. Which, I mean, you do play Cleveland twice, but even so, I would be surprised if you guys went 3-1 again. Watch this game be 28-15. If it is 28-15, you're getting a prize for your shed. Second and 6. Good throw. That'll probably bring us to the 2-minute warning. Mahomes is 12 of 12. Team is in a unique position of being just as likely to get the number 1 pick as you are making the playoffs, both like 8%. I would say that number is pretty accurate. I think you guys have a better chance of that of getting the number 1 pick. I think the playoffs is probably right around 5 to 8%. I think that's fair. But I think you have a better chance of getting the number 1 pick than that. It's not likely because you're still 2 games behind Cleveland. But if Cleveland wins a couple of games, you got Baltimore with 4 wins, Toronto with 4 wins, London with 4 wins. But other than that, I don't think there's anybody below you guys. So if it's 28-15 occupied Denmark, any shed he wants. Well, Denmark's shed is already good. It'd have to be something that goes into shed. Like maybe an even bigger riding mower. Yes. If it's 28-15, we're getting an even bigger and better riding mower for his shed. Like 15, I would say 15% is probably about fair for the number 1 pick. Wait, I wasn't even looking at the screen. What were they reviewing? They were reviewing if the receiver had possession, which I guess he did, because it's a first down. Then Mahomes chooses to yeet it deep for the heavens, and it's caught for a touchdown. And the Wizards extend the lead. Was that Jaden Jackson? Lined as a receiver. Huh. Well, how about that? An absolute dot by Mahomes, who's probably the MVP of the league right now, and he is for damn sure playing like it right now. Got to record himself doing a wheelie and saying yeehaw while on the lawnmower. I would pay to see that. If it's 28-15, buy me a poster of just the word Dan on it. Yes! That's a good idea. So the Tigers have 1:47 and all 3 timeouts. That's enough time for an offense who's very explosive like themselves. Yeehaw! Win out or lose out. Team, pick one. Now the Beats are going to go 2-2. Well, that's not going to help you out. A big loss for the Tigers, so they're probably going to run it here on 3rd and long. Try to flush a timeout. 3rd and 19. Sad thing is, that's probably the most likely outcome. I guess so. I mean, 7-10 shows you guys took strides, even if it's like kind of in the middle, which isn't really where you want to be. Mahomes lost to the Ravens, so he's no longer viewed as an MVP candidate. I mean, the Ravens are playing pretty good. Let's not act like they're bad at this moment. In general, they are, but at this very second, no. Orlando is 1 minute in a timeout. That's probably enough time to do some damage. I don't know if I'd expect a touchdown, but with this quarterback, you never know. Is he still not throwing an incompletion? He is 16 of 16. This man is unbelievable. He cannot stop. You can only hope to contain him. Make it 17 of 17. Where were these Ravens earlier in the year? Brzee and Octavius Gaiman have both been studs. True that. And Bijan Robinson will probably figure it out. X-Factor running backs, once you develop them, they are real good. There's his first incompletion of the game. Took him 18 passing attempts. Oh, they're not even going to try. Why? You have it that far downfield. Okay, they're going to run one more Hail Mary. I guess it's worth a shot. Mahomes launches it deep downfield. Why did he just not go all the way to the end zone? That doesn't make sense. Oh well. First half is in the books. The Wizards are looking pretty good, but the Tigers are still well in this ball game. 14-6 is your score. Patrick Mahomes, who has been dubbed the MVP favorite, is playing a lot like an MVP favorite right now. McCaffrey loses one. McCaffrey had that one really good run to start the game and hasn't done a whole lot since. He is like... McCaffrey's so hit or miss. I don't know why. Every other, like, 90-plus running back is a total stud, and then you have him as a 99, and you don't know what you're going to get out of him. Second 11. There's McCaffrey with a first down. Now the 23 back to McCaffrey. Again, not much. Second and 8. First down for Jameson Williams. I think, yep. Jameson Williams has been the only receiver for them who's done anything. Not a whole lot from Butte or Hardman. It's been the JMO show. Need a spot to put your new Dan poster after this game, wink wink. 28-15, I guess, is still possible. Wizards get 2 touchdowns, Tigers get 3 field goals. Or the Tigers come up with some other creative way to get 9 points, a touchdown and a safety. I would argue that's a little bit more likely than 3 field goals, because if they're going to be down by a lot, why are they going to kick field goals? So if a dream is still alive, and plays like that are going to help it. Now at the 36, it's McCaffrey again. Touchdown, another miss. Oh, touchdown, miss PAT, and a field goal. Yeah, they could go for 2 here if they want to tie the game. That's probably the more likely scenario. They score a touchdown, miss the 2, and kick a field goal. Yeah, that's probably a lot more realistic. I don't know if they would go for 2 here, but it would make sense. If you're down by 8, it would not be the worst decision in the world. Do the wheelie and go, yeah! That would be gold. There's McCaffrey to the 10. Or should Hockey do it? Oh boy, that would be something. Brady's in the zone. He had probably about 10 seconds to throw on that play. Already missed a point after trying that one. No, they got the 6 from 2 field goals. So they haven't missed any kicks yet. There's the touchdown. It's Jameson Williams with the score. All right. Does the 28-15 dream stay alive? Go for 2, damn it. They're going to do it, so they got to miss it. If they make it, then the 15-point dream is dead. dropped the ball! Okay, so the Tigers need a field goal. The Wizards need 2 touchdowns. This is very possible now. If this happens, I swear. I swear if this comes to fruition. That 2-point conversion looked like a perfectly executed play. I was like, oh boy, it's dead. And he dropped it. So the Wizards get it, I think, for the first time here in this second half. Patrick Mahomes, pretty darn good in the first half. As he starts with a play-action fake, okay. Oh, he's still alive. Nice play, I think, by Doyle. Be right back. Gotta go eat dinner. Enjoy your dinner, Chief. Gotta actually buy him a lawnmower if this happens. I mean, it's still unlikely, but there's a world where it happens. Third and 3. This would be a big stop for the Tigers if they could get it. A minute and a half left here of the third. And they got him. J.K. Dobbins loses a yard, wrapped up by, I can't tell who that is, 56. Tigers are making some noise here in this game. They could take the lead with a field goal. Not much for CMC, who has been really good today. He's hit or miss, but today he's been a hit. Brady on 2nd and 9. They get 9. And he was shy of the first down marker. So that'll wrap up the third. The Tigers bring the deficit from 8 to 2. Scored a touchdown. This is 2-point conversion. 14-12 your score, and the 28-15 dream is still alive. We do like weird. If the Tigers want to get a field goal, this 3rd and 1 would be pretty big. And they got it. Okay. Jameson Williams again. He continues to be a playmaker. 7 catches, 88 yards, and a tutty. Second and 10, Brady takes a shot downfield, and it's picked off at the 5-yard line. It just did not have enough carry. This is a nice return from the 5 to the 36. And someone is hurt. They last showed Jameson Williams. If he is hurt, that's bad news. Uh-oh, he's going to the locker room. So Jameson Williams is done for the day. He could be done for more. If that is a long-term injury, that's bad news for the Tigers. That is really bad news. He has been their go-to guy today, so now they're going to need to trust Hardman and Butte. So the Wizards are back in the driver's seat as they get 7. 3rd and 2. And they do get it. Okay. If I'm the Wizards, I would take my time to try to get back to the line of scrimmage. I know it's early, but we're getting close to 2 clock time. Don't think your team has won a single divisional game? Really? Not one? I feel like that can't be the case. You have to have at least one. I mean, I guess we'll check for at least this year when we go through Week 15 scores. This is so bad for the Tigers. Cries and Dan poster. Jameson Williams getting hurt is bad for the Tigers, but them not scoring there is bad for the memes, which is more important. Coming from the Jameson Williams stand in myself. Charles Amenahu does get the sack, though. Adam Gay says, yeah, we'll put in the game for Brady's legs. Have yet to beat the Jets or the Pats. What about the Dolphins? Pretty good punt, but it does not quite stay out of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. So the Tigers can take the lead back. I don't think it's realistic to expect them to get a field goal and that the Wizards score twice. So the 28-15 idea is not likely. But the Tigers have a shot to win. And that's not going to help. They're going to have to do it without their top receiver. Christian McCaffrey is a very good receiver in his own right. You got the other two. You got Travis Etienne as well. But Jameson Williams has been their guy today. There's a good throw. For Steven Sims. Okay, who needs Mecole Hardman and Keyshawn Butte when you've got Steven Sims? He'll be their new number one. Now to the 45. There's Mecole Hardman. Has he caught a pass yet? It's his second. What is good, Giddy? Welcome in. You've only missed 1 week so far. This is the second week we've gone through. You guys lost your first game today against Detroit, so you're 0-1 this stream, but you've still got 3 games to go. And I believe you guys are only one back of the Diablos for first place in the division. Clock is ticking. 2.5 minutes to go. Was it a good... I think you guys lost like 38-21, so it wasn't a blowout. Wow, nice throw. It wasn't a blowout, but it wasn't all that close. It's Steven Sims with the touchdown. So he comes in to replace Jameson Williams, and he makes a couple of big catches on this drive to put the Tigers up by 5. Rooting for the Pioneers to lose out because you'll get a better pick. Well, the Pioneers hope otherwise. The 28-15 dream is over. And then the chat for the lawnmower and the Dan poster. Talk about your game? Oh, I thought he was referring to his game. Did Mr. Mixon do good? He had like 100 yards. He was a little bit below average for his standards, but still really, really good. Yeah, I think he had 100 and a touchdown. Ooh, nice catch by Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's been really quiet today. Yeah, I know he had over 100. I don't think it was much over 100, but I'm 99% sure he had at least 100. Second and 2. What a throw to the 28. Kadarius Toney. Booth review. It looked like he was very clearly in. I don't know what there is to review. Oh, yeah, he's good. 1, 2. He's good. No question. Yep, the play stands. That is definitely the right call. Following play from the 28. They stop the clock. They do have all 3 timeouts, though, so the clock shouldn't be that much of a worry. Tigers win 22-20. That's definitely possible. Now 3rd and 1. Field goal does nothing. They need a touchdown. So they don't get it. They're definitely going to go for it. Running back's wide open. Yeah, easy read. The one time I encourage a check down. Ooh, Deron Payne is hurt. So, for one thing, that stops the clock, which is not good news for the Tigers. But now they've lost Jamison Williams and Deron Payne today. And he's going to the locker room as well. Not good news. 22-21 is correct. You got to get me 2 Dan posters. Yeah, but that could actually happen. I'll get you half a Dan poster. How about that? So I can confirm the sun is hot. Running in 95-degree weather sucks. I do not envy you. Cutting grass in higher than 70-degree weather is brutal. But on 95. If they score the next play, the timeout was a positive. For the Tigers? Not really, because you still burn a timeout. And the Wizards do get the touchdown, so they're going to take the lead with 1 minute and a second left. That's definitely enough time for the Tigers to drive down the field. We've seen some late drive heroics from the Tigers. Oh, 21-22 can't... Actually, yeah, no, 21-22 can't happen because we're going for 2. They got it. So they've got 57 seconds, field goal ties, touchdown likely wins. Brady's been pretty good today. Not as good as Mahomes, but still pretty good. Brady on the first play of a drive, heaves it deep, it's tipped and it's caught! Oh my gosh, it's Steven Sims again! He has been heroic ever since Jamison Williams got hurt. Oh my goodness. A safety for the Tigers. There you go. Brady is then sacked. They should use the timeout. They're going to at 11. I think they should just kick it. It's a 49-yard attempt. Yeah, they're going to kick it. I'm pretty sure their kicker is Chris Boswell, who is pretty good. It's 22-22. You got to get me 3 posters. We'll see. We'll see. Well, they should. That doesn't mean it'll end as a tie. From 49. Oh, he drilled that. All right. So the first time these two teams played, it went into overtime. The second time they play, it looks like it will also go into overtime, bearing some Mahomes magic, which I don't even think they're going to try. Yeah, they're just going to run it, aren't they? Yep. Pretty good run. Are they going to call time and launch a Hail Mary? They are. Okay. 2 seconds, so they will go for the Hail Mary. It would be a 67-yarder if they get it. We've seen some Hail Marys in our day. Mahomes has to get rid of it. It is caught. And they bring it to the 36. So they got the first half of the battle by catching it, but they couldn't do anything with it. So through 4 quarters, we do not have a winner. 22-22. We have a 6.5-minute overtime period. If it's still a tie, it'll end as a tie. Tails never fails. Except for sometimes. So the Wizards choose heads, and they win it. So since the Wizards chose heads, now I hope they lose. Go Tigers, go. Although it is Patrick Mahomes. We've seen in the past when he's the first one to get the ball in overtime, the other team doesn't get the ball back. It happened to Josh Allen. Now it might happen to Tom Brady. When are we going to get a Miami Miracle-esque play? Probably never. I have never seen the CPU lateral the ball. So I don't think we will ever see that. If we do, that'd be cool. But I wouldn't count on it. If the commies beat the Diablos, I'll buy a Go Putin shirt. All right, I'm holding you to that. Go commies. It's not 6.5 minutes. It's only 6 minutes. We'll see what Orlando can do. Patrick Mahomes has been pretty good today. Jaden Jackson has been awesome as a receiver. He's got to be at like 100 yards at this point. He's probably been their best receiver today. I say we Photoshop the Wizards score into saying 21. Call it a day. Give DeMarcus posters in the lawnmower. No, lateraling is in Madden. The CPU just doesn't do it. There is a way to do it, but the CPU just never does. So far, so good. Early on this drive here for the Wizards. Be careful by saying, let's go, commies. Yeah, maybe I should be a little careful. Imagine if someone, like, took that all out of context. All I want is the posters. At the lawnmowers, he just wants the posters. I mean, he could just, like, find a blank area in there and just write the word down. If you don't get the poster. That would work. 2nd and 3, I don't think they got it. Nope. 3rd and 1. Big play. And they do convert. I believe that's Jaden Jackson. Write Dan on your lawnmower. That's another option. I think I'll lose 20-40. Jonathan Taylor gets 173 and 2 touchdowns. Under 3 minutes. Field goal does win the game here. Even if, well, unless there's still time on the clock. But if we're in a situation where time's expiring and they kick a field goal, then the game is over. Another nice run for Jaden Jackson. They are in field goal range. Jackson has 29 rushing yards, but he has like 100 receiving yards. Tie. I wouldn't bet on a tie. I don't think it's overly likely. Second and 2. They're getting even closer. They now have it at the 10 or the 11. They can taste it. 1st and 10 from the 11. Tyreek Hill walks it off. The Wizards defeat the Tigers in overtime again. Both times these teams met up against each other this season, Orlando defeated Chicago in overtime. 28-22. I think last time it was 34-28. Patrick Mahomes is really good at football. Like, really good. Tom Brady was also pretty good. McCaffrey was good. Jaden Jackson not good on the ground, but he was very good in the passing game along with Nick Boyle. Jameson Williams, we'll have to see what happened to him with his injury. Mahomes is gay. Mahomes is gay because he's currently happy right now that his team won. How did Mahomes lose? I don't know. Any team can win any week. Mahomes would not be able to save my beats. Well, we could figure that out if you didn't originally trade him. All right, time to sim. I still want those posters. So the Wizards are now in total control of first place in the AFC South. They do have the full head-to-head tiebreaker over Chicago now as well. Oh, God, we have to start with us. Bad feeling about this. We're going to lose 27-17. Oh, we lost in overtime. Well, we still lost, and now the playoffs is not as likely. Derek Carr, after throwing 4 interceptions last week, throws 4 touchdowns. Malik Willis was better, but I don't feel good about our situation. Wow, Henry Ruggs had a good game. So did Christian Kirk and Devontae Adams. And I think Rondale Moore also had over 100 yards. So, yeah, playoffs is no guarantee for us anymore. Who do we have our last 3 games? The Washington, the Bears, the Lions. So we played 2 good teams, both of which are at home. The Aviators lose to the Rams. So the Rams' offense was horrible last week. This week they put up 49. And DJ Uiagalelei wasn't all that good. He was actually outplayed by Carson Strong. I guess I.T. Thomas must have played well. Yeah, he did. 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Allen Robinson, 202 yards in the loss. The Aviators were never all that good, though. They're just mid. They are the most mid team in the league. The Bats lose to the Dolphins, 31-21. Prescott and Howell were pretty much even. Two sacks for B.J. Hill, D. Ford, and Shaq Barrett. The Bears. And lose to the Panthers 27-9. So Carolina finally gets back on the win column. Both quarterbacks were pretty blah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire scores twice. If the Cardinals tie this week, you can get your poster. How about that? The Beats. All right, let's see how they've done against division teams now that we've posed the question. 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and now 1-4 as they lose to the Jets, 38-17. Elijah Chisholm outplays Jordan Love. Didn't you say Jonathan Taylor was going to get like 174 and 2 touchdowns? Pretty close. He gets 154 and 2. Two sacks for Justin Madubuike. The Bison. They have won 3 in a row. They beat the Shamrocks. Wow. OKC starting to turn it around again. Jeff Sims and Lamar Jackson were both really good. Alvin Kamara was also really good. So the Bison are just the streakiest team in the league, right? 2.5 sacks for Donnell Harris, 2 for Derek Barnett. The Black Knights lose to the Giants, 31-20. Maybe they should have just started Mitchell Trubisky this whole time. With how they've been playing since he started. Jalen Hurts gets sacked 7 times. Three sacks for Jordan Birch and Chandler Jones. Aaron Donald with 2. The Broncos lose to the Pioneers 35-36. Salt Lake City puts up 20 in the 4th. Joe Burrow outplays check down Corral. David Montgomery and Joe Mixon both went off. I think the next game is the Tank Bowl. Nick is ready to lose. Alrighty, who wins the first installment of the Tank Bowl? It is the Browns, 27-7. Now their defense plays well against Trace McSorley. Russell Wilson plays a lot better. McSorley, not so much. So both of these teams have 4 wins. DeForest Buckner, 4 TFLs despite the loss. The Bucks. We already saw that. Thanks for reminding me. The Cardinals beat Seattle. The Seahawks are on free fall. I think they've lost like 3 in a row. Tua Tagovailoa was fine. Kyler Murray was a little less than fine. Great odds. Yeah, you have better odds of getting the first pick than you did, say, 10 minutes ago. Why did he run it? Why does Tua run it so much? I mean, he didn't even run it poorly, but I don't get it. It's weird. Javon Baker, 1 catch, 86 yards. Not too bad. 3 TFLs and a sack for Tyler Davis. There are so many good rookie pass rushers. The Chiefs beat New England 38-23. Josh Allen throws for 4 touchdowns, 2 for Trevor Lawrence. The Diablos. Wow, they crushed Washington. So I guess Giddy's not going to be buying that commie shirt, is he? Baker Mayfield was pretty solid. Justin Herbert was not pretty solid. Dalvin Cook was quite good. Don't allow him to start a... There's no rules about not starting a punter or kicker at quarterback. He is 100% allowed to do that. If you want to start a punter or kicker at quarterback, you can too. There's no rules against that. So he 100% can do it. The Falcons beat the Jags. How many have they won in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fair, but that's never been a rule. There's no rule against it. So he has every right to do that. So Atlanta now has 11 wins. They're probably clinched by now. The Jags are 7-7. They're in last place of their division. But they still have a real shot at least a wild card spot. Did you win your game? You guys won by 1. Joe Mixon ran for like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Oh. Washington got killed. The Niners have won 2 in a row. The Beats they have 5 wins. So they're a game ahead of you guys. Wow, Toronto had 122 yards of offense. Good Lord, they are horrible. The Huskies also have 4 wins. Brady Boatwell played really well. His best game as a Niner. Hector Estrada, not so much. Nick Chubb wasn't even all that good. It's just that the other running backs were worse. John Vincent scores 3. He's had 5 touchdowns today. He's a sneaky offensive rookie of the year candidate. I feel like C.J. Stroud and DJ Uiagalelei have been a little bit too good, but John Vincent can play. The Ravens have 4 wins. 4 and 10. We've gone through all those teams, right? Yep. Next would be the Lions, I think, because we already saw the Jets. Yes, the Lions lose to the Saints 21-7. Thank you, New Orleans. The Saints finally win. So we're still a game behind Detroit. If the sim finally starts to give IT his due, we could do some damage. Yeah, with you guys winning this week, I think you guys are now in full control of first place because Seattle lost. So I guess you guys are probably the 2 seed behind Atlanta, right? Because Washington lost and the Lions lost. I don't think either of them have 9 wins, so I think the Rams right now are the 2. Carolina won. New England lost. Pioneers won. The Rams won. The Ravens lost. The Saints won. Thank you, New Orleans. Seattle lost. They've lost 3 in a row. Dublin lost. And that brings us back to the Tigers. The Ravens, I think, are probably mathematically eliminated at this point. With 10 losses, I think they're out. Players of the week, Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, Jermaine Pratt, and Chris Barnes. So Atlanta has done it. They have clinched a playoff spot. They have not clinched the division. With a win or a Bucs loss, they clinch the division. So, in other words, they should clinch the division. The Dublin Shamrocks still lead the AFC North. They are a win and in scenario. If they win or Columbus loses, Dublin wins the North. The Wizards are now in first place in the South with their win over Chicago. Did that say they had a negative? They have a negative point differential. Yet are, I think, the 1 seed in the AFC. Huh. The AFC East, whole lot of mid. The Jets are in first place at 7-7, tied with New England and the Dolphins. The Beats are 2 back. The Diablos lead the West by a game over the Pioneers and Chiefs. The Lions are still only a game ahead of the Vikings. Everybody in our division lost this week. Falcons clinch the South, or they clinch a playoff spot. They're about to clinch the South. Washington still leads the East, but the Giants and Bats are right on their tail. The Rams are now in full control of first place in the West with Seattle's 3 fall. The Beats could still make it, but with 3 weeks to go, they got to get past all of those teams, not just one of them. So this is what the seedings look like as of now. Diablos, Wizards, Shamrocks, Jets, Pioneers, Chiefs, and Tigers. In the NFC, Falcons, Rams, Washington, Detroit, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Arizona. So we are now out of it. Yay. All right, so originally the plan was to simcast a game this week and then watch Pat's Beats, but we can also change our mind. So Week 16 is a tie between Washington and Minnesota and the Bison and the Tigers. I would say both of those games are more important at this point than the Pats and the Beats because the Beats are tanking. By the way, the number 1 pick currently belongs to the Huskies with the Ravens, Black Knights, and Browns tied. Beats and Bears have 5 wins. So the Beats are pretty much tanking at this point. So I feel like that'd be better for a simcast game. If it's close, we'll hop in. I would probably prefer to watch the football team and the Vikings or the Bison and the Tigers because both of those teams are all fighting for playoff spots. For the Bison and the Tigers, they are both 8-6. They're a game behind the Wizards. I think the Tigers are the 7th seed and the Bison are right behind. So this is like a must-win game for both of them. We did already watch the Tigers today, though, but they are always fun to watch. As for the other one, which is also this week, the Vikings and Washington, both of us and Washington have struggled today. Washington is only a game ahead of Minnesota. They're only a game ahead of the Giants and the Bats, so they need to win this game. And we need all the wins we can get because we are not in the playoffs currently. We are behind Arizona. And the Giants and Bats also have 7 wins, and I don't think they were in. So there's a 4-way tie for 7-7 right now. That includes us. So, would you guys rather Minnesota or Oklahoma City, Chicago? My vote, unbiasedly, Washington, Minnesota. Vikings game. It's already 3 votes for us, so I imagine this will be a landslide. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2.
The answer is 1.
1. Washington. Okay. So we get to watch the commies. Down for Vikings or Rams, Ravens. We don't need to watch for Ravens. They are pretty bad. So, yeah, we'll just wear our regular home jersey. So this is fine as is. All right, a massive game in the NFC playoff landscape. The Minnesota Vikings and Washington Commies have not had good starts to the stream today. They're both 0-2. Got to get back on the win column. Washington still is in first place of the division, but not comfortably. The Bats and Giants are both a game back. As for Minnesota, they're in a 4-way tie at 7-7. And as it stands now, probably only one of those teams gets in as a wild card. The Vikings also have a shot at the division. I believe we do the head-to-head currently over Detroit. We beat them earlier in the year, and we play against them in Week 18. So I would almost argue winning the division is more likely for us on a wild card spot at this point. But still, we need all the wins we can get. All right, guys, don't disappoint me today. Fully expecting a good old loss, but we'll see. And then for Week 17, we'll still simcast the Pats and the Beats since that game did win the vote. Washington starts on offense. We'll look at Justin Herbert and the Commanders/football team/the Communists. Herbo has been fine this year. I mean, he hasn't been bad. I also wouldn't say he's been good. He's been pretty average, pretty mid. Vikings or Cardinals? Well, as of now, it's the Cardinals because they're in as the 7th seed over us, Austin, and the Giants, who all have 7 wins. So I guess the Cardinals have some type of tiebreaker of having a cool shed. When would the Week 18 extravaganza be? Probably Sunday, I think. That'd be my bet. See you guys later. If you did not get picks 1, 2, or 3, this year was a failure. Well, I mean, the chances aren't high of that, since there are 4 teams ahead of you guys. What was the score of your game, I assume you're referring to? Let me try to find it. You guys won by how many points? $38-28 against a really good Dublin Shamrocks team. Oh, come on! It's at the 1. He didn't even down it! Madden's out here hating. They didn't even down the ball. So not only are we at the 1, we're like the 1 inch. That ball literally touched the end zone. How are they going to roll that at the 1? That is a questionable call. Very questionable. And we have a safety. Fantastic. So Washington is on the board, and they get the ball back because the refs do not know how punts work. Holding against Marcus Cannon, so that'll lose some yards. Now a 3rd and 6. Herbo's under some pressure, takes a shot deep, and it is caught, but out of bounds. Thank the Lord. I was going to say, if they had made that play work with 2 pass rushers right in his face, that would have been kind of wild. That'll instead force a punt. There's the NFC playoff picture. Keep in mind there are 7 teams who make it, not 6. Arizona currently the 7th seed. Atlanta's the only team who's clinched so far, and probably no one's going to clinch this week because nobody else has double-digit wins. So, hypothetically, Atlanta could clinch the 1 seed today. Wasn't Atlanta the 1 seed last year? They were either the 1 or the 2. I feel like Atlanta was the 1 last year. Now 2nd and 12. Short throw gets us 5. Third and 7. Wide open up the middle is Henry Ruggs for 15, so that'll keep the drive moving. Not much for a Gibby. Gibson has negative yards today. I realize his numbers on the season were that good. He already has 13 touchdowns. Good Lord. That's pretty good. Were to happen, who would win? I would probably say us, but not convincingly. Because I would say us and Arizona are pretty close in talent. So, I think the Vikings are a little bit better, but, I mean, we're both 7-7. Are we going to get another one down at the 1? Holy cow, what a punt! Both teams have downed a punt at the 1 today. The only difference is we actually downed it. They didn't, but they still got it at the 1. I think us, we put up 42 points against the Seahawks. Yeah, but anything can happen in any week. So, we saw the Ravens beat the Wizards today. So I don't think that's necessarily a consistent indicator that your offense is like that good, but your offense is playing well. I will say that. Herbo's got to watch out for the safety. He gets out of it, and he will get the first down. So unlike us, they are not going to get the safety. Instead, they get a gain of 33. Jacobs got popped there. Was that Patrick Queen, I think? Now 3rd and 7. Another hard hit. Doesn't matter. They do get the first down. So far, Washington's definitely been the better team so far today. Even though, if you do make the playoffs as a 7th seed, you wouldn't last long. I mean, you could certainly beat the Rams. The Rams aren't, like, invincible. They're a good team, but I don't think they're unbeatable. I think that's definitely a winnable game. I think the Rams can make a run, but I also think they could fall out pretty early. That was a flag. That was a late flag, though. That could be a face mask. No, it's a hold. Good. Holding against the offense. That'll move him back 10. And so that'll wrap up the first quarter. 2-0. What a weird score. You don't see that every day. 2-0. That's definitely a score got me somehow. I don't want it to be 2-0 because I don't want to lose, but that'd be funny if the game just ended 2-0. Even if you do play Rams in a wild card, you wouldn't like to win that much since now all you want to do is make the play. I mean, if you make the playoffs, so you got to hope for a run, even if it's not likely. The Shamrocks were the 7th seed last year, and they made the OFL Bowl. So it's 100% possible. And the Shamrocks, in my opinion, had better teams in their way. Fourth and 7, they go for the 53-yarder. That does not look good, and it is, in fact, no good. He missed it. Also want Mr. Rob to win it. Mr. Rob does already have a ring, though. He won one last year. So, he does already have one championship. He also lost to us in an OFL Bowl last year, so he's 1-1 in OFL Bowls. So he's been there before. He's done that. He's won, and he's also lost it. Nice throw for McLaurin. Okay. Mr. Rob do be cool. I mean, he's certainly a deserving winner. He's been a very good coach since he came last year. And he has a good team. The Rams could make a run. I don't fully trust them yet, but they definitely could. Minnesota's moving it. We might finally get on the board here. Not quite on that play, but we bring it to the 1. Chances of the Cardinals making a run. I mean, I wouldn't say high, because I still think there's a slim shot you guys do make the playoffs. It's more likely now than at the start of the stream, but I still wouldn't say there's like a high chance. Just because there are so many teams fighting for that last spot, there's not a whole lot of margin for error. If you do make it, there's certainly a shot you go on a run. I wouldn't count on it. As Nico Collins gets the touchdown. What is good, Hector? How you doing? You're black at it again. How are the Huskies doing? Not too good. They have the tied for worst record in the league at 4-10. So, the Huskies have not been very good this year. You guys are in full tank mode. Oh, good special teams. Having them start at the 13. Another flag. Washington's had a few flags today. They're probably going to add another one here. Yep. You know, we could get a safety here. With Myles Garrett and Khalil Mack, we could. Also like that once 3 and 5 Cardinals can make the playoffs. There are a lot of teams that started bad this year who could end up, you know, not bad. All right, good stop, fellas. Best news that Hector will be an 80 by the end of the playoffs. Well, I mean, with Superstar Dev, it's possible, yeah. He could be in the low 80s. The once 1-9 Ravens went on a 3-game win streak. That's true. Anything can happen in football, particularly with Madden's inconsistent sim engine. Failed with a 1-16 goal. Hector reminds me personality-wise of Johnny Manziel. I guess without the booze, I can see it, yeah. Which is ironic, considering Hector's profile picture is literally of King Boo. But point remains, he's Johnny Manziel without the alcohol. On the field, they have some similarities too, and I don't mean that in a good way. Although at least Hector's kind of hanging in there with the pros. Johnny Manziel never really did that. Go Washington. Hey, don't be mean. Washington losing isn't that bad for you guys, though. Yeah, us winning this game wouldn't be worst case scenario, because if, let's say, like, the Giants or the Bats do really well at the end of the year and they win the division over Washington, then Washington's going to be another team you guys fight with for a playoff spot. So, although I do think Washington winning probably does help you guys, it's not, like, that drastic. But it probably would help. Remember when Hector was getting injured so often? Now he's top 10 young... What? How many QBs in the league are young then? Like 8? I mean, if Young is like under 25, then yeah, because there probably is only 10. Only reason you're rooting for Washington because you're competing with us. To be fair, though, Washington is also kind of competing with us. But again, I think us losing would probably benefit you guys the most. But us winning is not the end of the world. 2nd and 1, deep shot, should have been picked. Hot take. Hector is better than Kellen Mond or whoever your quarterback. Well, my quarterback is not Kellen Mond. Mine is Malik Willis, and Kellen Mond is 100% not better than Malik Willis. Kellen Mond? No, probably not. Washington is going to tank anyway, like they always do. Well, that should imply that we should have no problem with the... And they're only up by 5. Although they got those 2 points off of luck. Odd decision to run the ball there and then call a timeout, but you, Washington. You always confuse them both. Probably because Kellen Mond is on the Vikings in real life. See how that's, like, easy to mix up. 0-16? Well, you guys haven't, like, actually won a game today. So, technically that's true, and you're not winning this one either. They do get the first, though. They've got to move quick if they want to score. They have 1 timeout and 20 seconds. And now they don't have any timeouts. Funny to believe the Giants almost made the playoffs like 2 years ago. Ah, yes, the good old Giants. Herbert backing up and is sacked by Khalil Mack. And so that'll wrap up the first half. 7-2. What a weird score. The Vikings lead. I'm pretty sure we start with the ball, right? Yes, okay, good. When the hell does... Yeah, Nick is fully in charge now. Well, not fully in charge, I get some say. Khalil, he hasn't been as good the past couple of years, but he still is pretty good. Game is going by slow. I feel like it hasn't gone by slow, there just hasn't been a lot of action. I wouldn't say it's been that slow. 7-2, yeah, very weird score. Not a lot of offense, but it's been a very common theme this year that there's more offense in the second half. I don't know why that is, but that's how it is apparently. Malik Willis is 7 of 8. He hasn't thrown the ball that bad. It's just that he hasn't thrown the ball a lot. 3rd and 3. Okay. Looking like a baseball score. Really winning more than Boomey as a first-year coach. I mean, Boomey in his first years in OFL 21 was pretty bad. He got a lot better, but at the start, yeah, he was not the best. Probably because he didn't know that much about football, but... Baseball takes like 3 hours. It doesn't always end 4-3. And it doesn't always take 3 hours. It sometimes takes more. But point remains. 7-7 in your first season is pretty good. Definitely. And you guys have... I mean, I wouldn't say you've taken a leap this year. But I kind of felt like last year the Cardinals kind of like outplayed how they should have done. So I guess to see the fact that they are still playing well might be indicative of how you've done, or maybe Madden just likes them. I don't know. 3rd and 3 play action. Don't go to the running back. Good. Thank you. Welcome back, Giddy. Red style. You can no-hit someone and still lose. Welcome to the Cincinnati Reds, friends. Weren't the Pioneers trash in the first? I have no idea how good they were in the sim season. Probably because they weren't the Pioneers. I guess they were still the Raiders back then. But I have no idea. How has Hector done this stream? Not very good. I forget how he did in his first game, but the second game he was kind of bad. Malik is 11 of 12. He is slinging it. The Reds are going to be the 1899 Spiders. The good old Cleveland Spiders. Still don't know how you won Coach of the Year. I feel like most people vote for Coach of the Year just based off who has the best record of the candidates. I'm pretty sure that's how you won. Fourth and 6, tackle on the field goal. So we're up by 8, which, I mean, it's a one-score game. But Washington would still need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie it. So it's not a comfortable one-score game. You're really proud of yourself. Your 19 in math is now a 62. Wow, good for you. Still failing, but that actually is a pretty big increase. Welcome back, Dan. I'm not sure if you saw the end of your game, but you guys won, so you're in first place. How many games did you... Well, you lost the Ravens game, but you beat Chicago in overtime because Patrick Mahomes is a machine. So you guys are the 2 seed at 9-5, and you're a full game ahead of everybody in the division, and you have the head-to-head over Chicago because you beat them twice. A 60 where you live is not failing. What grade system do you guys use? Jeez. Talk about a nice curve. Your Wi-Fi was messed up? Well, tell your shed Wi-Fi to be nice. Second and 4. Big sack for Garrett coming off the edge. He's probably the defense player of the year at this point. If not, he's definitely up there. Third and 9, Travis Kelce with the first down. If we had stopped them there, we could have put ourselves in a really good position. That ends the third quarter. Still a pretty slowly offensively paced game. The Vikings had a field goal. We now lead 10-2. Our defense has been horrible today. But in this game, it has been, well, pretty good. Because the only points that Washington scored was not by their defense. Or not by their offense. It was by their defense. So it wasn't even our defense's fault. Third and 6. They do get it again. Get Hector an offensive line, and he'll return into a go. Huh. I kind of doubt that a little bit. Well, Washington gets shut out in the second half. I would say there's a good shot they score here. A turnover would be pretty nice. We do have the momentum bar fully filled up, so hopefully we can do something with that. Not when the left side of the field is completely wide open. Big hit, only a gain of 5. The Washington Commanders. What a great play on words. Totally won't have A+ meme material there. They've had such a long drive. But they're getting close. And that's your top pick into an O lineman. Not if they get 1. If they got 1, they got to pick Dan. Although Dan will be as big as an offensive lineman, but that'll also be a waste of his skill set. Dan is official. He's going to be in the draft class. He is a real thing. Third and goal, touchdown for Josh Jacobs. So we got to see if they get the 2-point conversion to try to tie it. After the game, can we make sure Claypool is wide receiver 1 and Curtis Samuel is 2? I can do that. Hector better than Dan. What? Hold on. Hector better than Dan. Hector better than Lochte. Neither of those are true. Good stop, by the way. Who's Dan? So, for those who missed Saturday's stream, pretty much Dan is he's going to be a quarterback in the upcoming draft class, and he's going to be really, 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 really good. So, yeah. You guys are going to get to know Dan real well. You're not draft... Yeah, but he's a generational QB. You can't really pass on that if you get 1. Explain why we got Dan. So pretty much, Denmark and I made a bet that he would stay in his shed for like a whole day. And if he did, Dan is a thing. And that's how Dan was born. Pretty much. Spent 20 hours in a shed. He spent 20 whole hours in the shed. It is a bigger shed, but point remains. As Malik Willis is sacked by Ngakoue. Hey, defense, I'm going to need you guys to clutch up here. The offense doesn't want to, so I'm going to need the defense to do something. If we win delete stream, we need to have no proof. Well, if all goes well, that's not going to happen, so we should be good. $20 hours to not even be able to draft Dan. Why is Bro in a shed? Why not? It's a big shed. And he's in that shed right now. It's not like a tiny shack. It was actually a pretty good looking shed. Make mid-game adjustments. Tell your players to lose. I would appreciate that too. Start your punter. There you go. That's an idea. Although, who needs a punter when Herbert can get sacked? It's Khalil Mack with his second of the game, I think. So they're going to have to punt it. We get it back with 4 minutes. Offense. Let's play smart, and we'll win the game no problem. Oh, an 18 gain. Here we come. What, you lost for bye week too? That's a good start. How many did the bye week beat you by? 50? The bye week literally beat you guys last year because I think that's when you fell off the face of the earth. 0-21 gang. Apple should trade away first overall pick for... Well, Apple's team... Did they even have their pick? Apple's not going to get the first round pick because the game doesn't acknowledge that his team doesn't win. The game thinks he has 8 wins. That's what it says. Who did you lose to in the bye? The bye week is its own team. I don't know who's on it, but they're their own team. And apparently they won. Don't run another play before the 2-minute warning, guys. Don't be stupid. Okay, good. I thought they were going to run another play just for no reason. All right, we're at the 2-minute warning. Time to run the ball, finish the game off, and get back over 500 where we belong. Okay, that's a fine start. I'll take it. What if I draft Dan and turn him into a kicker? I mean, I guess you could, but we want to see Dan at quarterback. That's the whole point. They must have an extra chromosome. Jesus. The fullback gets the ball. And he's a yard shy. Punch it up the middle with Malik Willis. QB sneak to end the game, please. The prison team led by Deshaun Watson and Henry Ruggs. Or give it to Gibson. Okay. So, Washington doesn't call a timeout anyway. All right, so the game is over. The Vikings are going to win it. What in the